Wonderful section. All right, Ma, you mentioned the Tenera species being a hybrid of the Dura and Persifera. Like, I'm trying to like figure it out. How is that possible? Is it that when they start growing, there's a kind of mixture of the nutrients, or I don't really understand. Can you share more? Thank you, ma'am.
When it comes to developing an hybrid plants, it's not just what we see on the table. It's a genetic makeup. It's like, okay, this is a Dura field or a Dura plantation. This is a Persifera plantation. There is a specific time or a specific age of that plant. By the time the inflorescence of the male plants, there's a way they mate. Though this is done basically for those in the breeding aspects. There's a way they mate or cross pollinate the inflorescence of the male plant to the female plant. It's just like, okay, let me come to our level. This is a male, the father. This is a mother. This is the child. The child now that father and mother gave birth to is now what? The offspring. Likewise, the cross-multiplication from the Dura and the Persifera becomes the Tenera. Not that the Dura or the Persifera isn't good. It's good, but the issue is for the Dura, the seed or the shell inside is thick. So you have little oil content. But the Persifera has mesocarp, but little shell, very slim shell. Do you get it? Very slim shell. The scientists or the genetics or the breeders thought it wise that this seed has shell, no much mesocarp. Why this one has mesocarp, no shell? But the yield per ton per hectare for either the Dura or the Persifera is not comparable to the yield per ton per hectare for the hybrid, which is the Tenera. So it is advisable to use a Tenera seed to plant because of your yield per ton per hectare. Maybe very soon our scientists will still come up and say, call maybe XYZ seed, that this is even better than the Tenera. Every farmer will still go into that same hybrid seed that they now say, okay, this is not the best one. Because at the end of the day, as an investor or as a farmer, it is the money you are going to take home that matters to you. So if you decide to use Dura, a time will come, you even just for the whole plantation, the trees in your plantation, because your yield per ton per hectare, you will not spend to the bank at the end of the day. So it's better for you to plant the right seed, plant with the right spacing. Spacing matters a lot as well. Have I answered?
Sorry, I know this is not context. All right, Ma, I know this is not connected to what we are doing, but I'm just curious about there is a state they call nursery of what's it called? The oil, yes, nursery.
Okay.
Like how many months does it take before it's being transferred to this yes to the field?
And for the nursery, you even have two nursery advisable. You have the pre-nursery and you have the main nursery. So the pre-nursery, the way you arrange your polythene bag in the pre-nursery is different from the way you arrange your polythene bag in the main nursery. And your size of polythene bag in the pre-nursery is still different from the size of polythene in the main nursery. That just, you must nurse your oil palm. You must nurse it before you take to the field.
All right. I have a question more. Talking about the talking about the tree crop planting you mentioned earlier, right? You mentioned about planting tree crops around it. My question is, if we are using a 9 by 9 spacing and then you place tree crops at the later stage of development, would it not hinder the planting oil palm itself from developing, seeing that the oil palm is also a tree crop in itself?
No, it will not, because oil palm is a tree crop. Hope you know that. Likewise, I'm trying to be okay. Oil palm is a tree crop. Likewise, the tree crop you want to put into it. If, let's say you are using this one now, this pattern, if you look at this main sheet, this is the oil, this is solely the oil palm. But the boundary of your plantation will be demarcated from your next neighbor with this tree crop. You still use the same meter. Not all tree crops are 9 meter. Cocoa, for instance, is not 9 meter. You understand? Cocoa, for instance, is not a 9 meter crop. So you use the planting space for that tree crop for this one, but your oil palm has to just be this one. Then if it's this one as well you want to do to intercrop it in between, you can use your 9 meter. It will still form. Or if you don't want to use it because of the, let me use the word, the canopy of the tree crop, for instance, like the ogbolo, you cannot. You can either use 9 meter by 40, 9 by 15, 15 by 10, 12, 13, 14. You understand? It will still be the same thing because of the canopy. So if you are starting, depends on the one you want to use. Where you start by taking your baseline, that's what you are going to use to end it. You will not say because oil palm is in this line, let me now switch to another. No, it will alter the lining of your palm.
Okay. So the thing is 9 by 14 for the other crop. This distance between
You just start, if you want to put it in between.
No, at the edge.
At the edge, like a boundary.
Like a boundary.
Use your, like that one at the
Like
edge.
that one, yes.
Yes, use your normal 9 meter. If you look at it, look at the 9 meter triangular.
Yes.
This one does not affect anything here.
Okay.
It does not affect anything here. This one will be like, why this one is here? We are trying to encourage sustainability, not just only depending on oil palm or depend on the plantation or the FFB. You are indirectly also depending on the profit from these tree crops. Do you understand? You're just depending solely on the profit of this tree crop. So it's always advisable go into agroforestry same way you are going into oil palm plantation.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I have another question. Sorry. Let me about the global trends and the opportunities. You mentioned about the international demand for oil palm has not been attained.
Yes, it has not.
Yeah. For Edo State in particular, are there particular agencies that one can go through for export, or is it just anybody that can get up and take it?
With no exportation in quotes, exportation is taking something out of your country. So you need to meet the required standard. First of all, you need to register. You just need to, you can't just wake up one day and say you are going to the airport to export. No, you need to meet the required standard. There are agencies for it. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is there. So they have the nitty-gritty to know what is obtainable from you to process or proceed in your exportation. I think NAFTA, if I'm not mistaken, NAFTA also have a role to play before you export. So they need to even certify your product is good. Your product is okay. And we need to, like that ROXPO that I made mention about, if you are not an ROXPO compliant, sorry, nothing, and I say nothing, we go. So Edo has keyed into this ROXPO initiative so far. Look at it. For sustainable oil and palm oil, the ROSPO initiative Edo is adhering to opens up export opportunity to countries and companies prioritizing sustainability. The RSPO is not a Nigeria thing, no. It's an international thing. They will come to your farm. They will come to the location your farm is in. They will check. They will check the HSB. They will check so many things to make sure you are an ROSPO compliant. Definitely you'll be certified before you move to the next level. One cannot just wake up and say, have a plantation, I need to export. No. You need to meet the required standards. And there are agencies that are responsible for that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Ma'am, during your lecture, you made mention that there is 43 byproducts of oil palm. So please, I would like to know some of the byproducts of oil palm. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me start from our anniversary. Most of our soap, if I'm not just most of our soap, there's a percentage of oil palm. Oil. The group we use is oil. It's from the oil palm, from the tree. The pharmaceutical, they use oil palm. The livestock in sector for feed processing, they use oil palm. Even this, what's it called? How many of us eat it? No, it's oil palm. Like I said, your waste is my raw material. Your raw material can as well be my waste. Even as a biogas fuel, those of us that like banga very well, if we notice our mother, we mill the oil from the banga, that thing that is like sponge, do they trade it? That thing is fire. Even the camel itself, most of us will start putting cream. So we have 43 more products that we can get from that tree. So maybe if you are into the process, you may decide it's okay, I don't want to do palm oil, I want to go into groundnut oil, vegetable oil. It's from red oil. You want to go into soap making, it's from red oil. So it's not what you have interest in. You now go. You may decide to say, okay, this person's waste will be my wealth. Then you turn the narrative to be from waste to wealth. Because that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. We really appreciate all this amazing presentation. So I don't believe any of us have questions so that we can attend to those online. So if any of us here have questions, so we can ask. So one of the questions one of our participants online asked said, are there ongoing training or extension services provided by the Edo State government to help investors and their farm managers improve productivity?
On training, yes, because in the local government across the states, there are extension. We have Edo State government or the Ministry of Agriculture has extension workers spread across the local governments. So as an investor, I may not be in every local government, but I have or we have a representative. So if as an investor you can go to your nearest local government, ask for the Ministry of Agric Extension worker, and he or she is ready to put you through. Even recently, Edo State's oil palm program even sponsored, fine, I may not use the word investors, they sponsored so many people from the or beneficiary communities that these investors are. They sponsor them into the state-owned College of Agriculture. So Edo State government is currently doing well in terms of training.
That's amazing. Thank you very much, Madam. Then another question is there any specific incentives, rule, or financial support from the Edo State government to farm investors in oil palm for those who have started and those that want to start?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Okay, so is there any specific incentives, rule, or financial support from the Edo State government to investors that want to start oil palm plantation or for those who have started already or want to scale up?
I will not, or I am not specifically in position to say that, because as a farmer or an intending farmer, I will always advise you is you don't start or set up a business with loan. It's not advisable. If you want to upscale, yes, the Edo State government will give you if you meet her criteria. Because there is no free cake in free time. So if you meet the criteria, Edo State government, after all, like our present administration, this governor now is seriously or earnestly desiring to upscale the agricultural sector, that he even sponsored or is even bringing this initiative of back to farm. And I will tell you for free, he has even given the ministry 6 tractors, all in the name to boost agriculture for this state. Then also, as a farmer, if you can take agriculture as a business, when I mean as a business, agricultural activity in the States will boost up. But most of us, or most of our farmers, are not taking it as a business. Some just see it as, okay, Edo State government or the government is giving out something. This is our share of our national cake. So that's why I say when you meet the criteria, you will be given.
Okay. This other person is asking if there's also government assistance in providing affordable or subsidized fertilizers or farming inputs for oil palm plantation.
Yes, I can tell you that for free. Recently, a few months ago, Edo State government distributed not just 1 bag, 2 bags of fertilizer to farmers. Profile farmers, they distributed bags of fertilizer to them, still to upscale. For the input, yes, we give inputs to farmers, still profile farmers.
Okay, so that profile farmers now doesn't mean that it's the ministry will have to verify to ensure that.
Yes. We have paper farmer, we have existing farmer. So we are aware of this whole thing.
Online farmers.
We are even aware of online farmers. So we do.
Okay.
Just for us to even call paper farmer, we've gone a step higher, asking you to bring the coordinates of your farm.
Wow.
You don't need to even be there. I can go to your farm, as far your coordinates is with me. I will go. Your exact location is there. So there's no way it's something you take life on the spot. It's in Google. So except you want to focus, so it's difficult. So it's there. It's there. We are insisting, not just write your name, your farm location, or the enterprise you are farming. Give us your coordinate. That is the core now that we have gone into.
Thank you very much. Then another question here is, what guarantees or legal framework are in place to protect investors from losing their farmland or investment in Edo State oil palm plantation? Because we have heard in most cases where some communities come and take over investors' oil palm plantation, and it seems there's no support system from the state government to help them out.
If I hear you correctly, what supports program
The system of legal framework
that the Edo State government has put in place to
protect farmers, their land, yes, from community tribal whereby companies want to take over the land and destroy the oil palm plantation.
And fine, before the ministry engaged community sensitization program, and not just that alone. In case of communal disputes, there is a body or there are bodies that are being set up to curb any communal crash that has to do with plantation or even not just with plantation, even livestock farmers. So there's a body that is strictly for that.
So can that body be also accessible through the ministry?
Yes. And also, if you have a plant, I hope the farmer that is having issue, the farm he has a farm, the land title. If the farmer has that land title, there's nothing that can't be. I don't GIS is about land title, so there is no way community except the person got that plantation land or farmland in the illegal. Or you are farming in the government's reserve. If you are farming in the government reserve and government says they want their reserve to do for something, you have to release it.
Thank you very much for your plans to the last question here is, how does the ministry work with investors to manage environmental concerns such as soil fertility, water use, and biodiversity?
The ministry work hand in hand with investors. Most times you go for routine check. We just go see how their place, if they run their activity, even go into the neighboring community and just ask 1 or 2 questions, just to be sure that this specific investor is in line with what he or she was told at the beginning, because there's an MOU that was being signed. So we need to follow, we do follow up to know that this person is in line with what was being signed.
Thank you very much. Question, a happy question. My question is, for example, let's assume that we want to go into plantation of maybe 500 acres or 200 acres. Is it possible to approach the ministry for land, or we still have to go through community to get the land?
If you want to do farm or set up your oil palm plantation and you need the number of hectares that you want, come to the ministry, write to the ministry, or you can even write directly to the Edo State government as a major investor, not just as a smallholder farmer. Because the purview of the ministry, like Ministry of Agriculture, is not to give you an arable land that is made for an arable crop for you to establish your plantation. So the ministry will give you an arable land for an arable crop. So when you want to go into plantation, then it's now like going off a bit from the ministry by going to, because now you want to acquire the forest reserve. And also, like I will also tell you, by the time you follow the due process, Ministry of Agriculture will do their own due project. You follow the process with liaising with GIS and with Forestry Commission. You get the land. You can even go to currently to even make out a seamless transaction or a seamless investment. You can even be the Edo State Investment Promotion Office, which is the NCPO, or even go to the One-Stop Investments Promotion Office, the ESOC. ESOC is in Block B. Edo State Promotion Investment Council is behind the government house. So these offices are after the investor. Even the ESOP, it's like the oil palm plantation, you can be the ESOP. But this would be on a large expanse of land. Like I also said, the 114,000 hectares was approved. We've still not gotten to half. It's about 70% that's been utilized. So there's still land for oil palm plantation. Because at the end of the day, last year, 2050, we must achieve that same of even being the most, what's it called? We need to be a center where every other state will come into. So either invest in oil palm produce or take from us in Nigeria. So Edo State government has made it a sub-planning position or a sub-planning space for investors to come into Edo to thrive.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, Ma, thank you so much, Ma. My question is, you mentioned that the government has shifted focus to make sure that, should I say, there is an enhancement of agriculture in Edo State. Okay, I'm very sure most of us are aware that there are some deeply remote areas whereby this information doesn't get to. So now the question is there any measures put in place to ensure that these people are aware of this trend going on in agriculture sector? Okay, but the question is, you said government has put in initiative to enhance agriculture in Edo State. And I said, I'm very sure we are aware of some communities that they don't have access to information or trends going on. So my question is there like a measure that has been put in place to ensure that this community are involved in ongoing trends in agriculture sector?
Presently, as I'm talking to you now,
12:29.
And today is
8.
the 28th of May, 2025, 12:31. If we have someone who can call at Igora here, tractors are working there now, sponsored by the Edo State government. By next week, by God's grace, or upper week, they'll go to Okwesa, Edo Central, to work. From there, they go to the north to work. All in the name to beat or provide this incentive or drive down this initiative down to the grassroots. At the end of the day, food security, we like it, we don't like it. Like this governor is poised to make sure that the food security is boosted, or we boost the food security in the states. There's so much passion about boosting the food security of the states. It's so much. I think my assistant wants to speak.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my boss. Like what the question one of the sisters asked, she said, how long does it take to lose palm oil. Yes. And come to the state. My governor said the happy loss in permanent loss. The pre-loss will take about 1 to 3 months. And while the permanent loss will take about one called the big political line.
The main nursery.
Big loss go with the big bag, big political bag. That will take about that 9 or 6 months because the other one was with 9 to 10 months. But have it in mind, if we say the nursing is 9 months, that means you are performing to that period. If you go to farm these days because of challenges on your hand, you have planted 2 years, 1.5 years, it depends on you.
So that the trunk will be fully matured.
Yes.
Because when it's not fully matured and you don't put your wire cords and cord around your arm,
Then another question.
that's what
That some of you might have put us in. When we say 9 by 9 triangular, that is the general standard. Then most of these model companies now, models investors, some plan 8.5, 8.7, 8.2, depend on the variety. So that to avoid the making the said Minister of Appraisal are waiting for the that is general standard. But most company plans 8.5, 8.7, depend on you what you want to meet or what you need. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. I want to appreciate every one of us for participating in this event. Appreciate our facilitators. Appreciate every one of us present here physically and those that join visually. I appreciate, and I guess you have learned something new about oil palm investment and global trends in oil palm plantation, and particularly how we can also leverage the support system from Edo State government, because the truth is each government has different support system in federal and state, and sometimes due to the fact that we have this mindset of Nigeria is not going where the way I want, there's problem in Nigeria, there's challenges in Nigeria, most times we tend to forget or we tend to leave the other aspects that we can also leverage on to do something better for ourselves in terms of wealth creation and sustainability. And we heard where our facilitator mentioned some of the biggest oil palm companies in Edo State. These companies, most of them, I can say most of their CEOs, most of their investors, most of these investors, they are not from even Edo State, they are not from even Nigeria. Some of them are foreign investors, but they saw the potential that this state is offering, so they have to buy into it. And also today, they are making waves in the oil palm sector in Edo State and in Nigeria at large. So I want us to stay focused, to relax our mind and take opportunity of what the government is doing in Edo State in agriculture and oil palm sector, and it will benefit us for a lifetime, especially when it comes to oil palm plantation. So thank you very much. I want to appreciate every one of us, and special thanks once again to the Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security for making this event a wonderful event and amazing event, and to our great facilitators from this ministry. We are saying thank you from Silvawell Limited. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. And to our participants here, we say thank you. Thank you so much.